In a pretty recent broadcast, guys, Nickmercs has now brought further information to the table on his side of things and the entire situation involving him, Nadeshot, 100 Thieves, supposedly 5% ownership of the 100 Thieves organization, and Scooter Braun as well. If you guys do not know Scooter Braun, an investor we talked about months ago who came to the defense of Nadeshot on his side of the story, which Nickmercs has made further great points where, if you guys remember, Nadeshot never told his side of the story, which makes it tough to judge exactly what went on. Nickmercs has now added to more of this, guys, and I think a very, very great post. A VOD, by the way, of which I cannot find currently, but I'll play for you guys a lengthy clip. I will chop it up, give my response here and there. First of which, Nickmercs talks about Scooter Braun, who came to the defense of Nadeshot during a panel, and here's what Nick had to say about that.
I remember Scooter Braun. I saw an interview with Nadeshot and Scooter Braun on some like Esports panel. And when I saw the interview, okay, I got pissed.
And in case you guys did forget what Scooter Braun did say and attest to, here's that clip from the panel as well.
It's a very delicate and intricate situation that I promise you that I cannot explain on this stage in this time.
That's fine.
I respect Nickmercs.
I'm going to do this for you because you've been kind about it the whole time, and I'm not. I've had people defend me in the past on stuff. Matt never broke his word on anything that he did. You know, I think sometimes people use their platform in this world to say whatever they want to say as long as they have an audience to say it to. And those things are not always based on fact. And he had a right to come out and tell the truth, and he decided to take the high road, which he'll continue to do on this stage, and I think more people should take that approach. But he doesn't need, I'm going to step up and say, you don't need to defend yourself. I appreciate the question, you have to ask it. But you don't need to defend yourself for something you never did anything wrong. We think he'll go on and have a great career, and Nick's a good guy, and he should go on and have it. But some of the things that were said publicly that Matt never responded to, I was proud that he didn't respond because he did the right thing, and he let the organization speak for itself.
I told my agent and my manager to get a hold of Scooter. Tell him I want to talk to him, and I want to talk to him now. Fucking like 5 minutes ago, I want to talk to this fucking guy. And I get on the phone with Scooter. So Scooter takes my call. I get on the phone with this fucking guy, and I ask him what the is he talking about. I ask him why he would say those things. I said, why'd you say those things? He starts saying this and saying that. And looking back on the conversation, I was in my front yard, man. And I remember telling Scooter at one point on that phone call, I literally said, when people go up there and they lie like that on your fucking name from where I'm from, they get slapped in the fucking mouth. Is it like that over where you're from? And he started laughing, and I was like, ain't nothing funny. I don't know who you think you are to go up there and talk about something you know nothing about. For a guy like Scooter Braun to go up there and attest or contribute or talk about something, he would have had to been there. This motherfucker came in way later. He wasn't there. That's what I was asking him on the phone call. I'm like, how would you fucking know anything when you weren't there? You came in way later on some investment type shit. You weren't there.
And for a lot of people out there, they saw Nadeshot as the face, the key personality out there doing a lot more and contributing a lot more than Nick did as well. So they thought that somehow, Nick didn't deserve that ownership. Here was what Nick had to say about just being a streamer and a content creator for 100 Thieves.
They always say, well, Nick was just a content creator for 100 Thieves, and he was just a streamer. Nadeshot sacrificed his YouTube and his Twitch and his whole entire thing to be the CEO. Well, I mean, you're right, in a sense. But there was a lot more that I did that I guess nobody paid attention to. I mean, I was at the meetings. I went to the Cavaliers game and sat with those guys. I went to every LCS match and sat in the stands with the 100 Thieves crew, man.
And I really give credit for Nick in talking about all of this. He does so, and I would say a very good manner. He talks about not only how he's lost millions in this deal to talk to other people out there who try and judge him for this. Think about it from his shoes, losing out on millions, but he also can admit that Nadeshot was in a very tough spot as a CEO, but CEOs also have to make very tough decisions. I believe he's referring to the fact that the amount of ownership left for 100 Thieves, Nadeshot had to choose between giving it to a friend and someone he had promised by word of mouth, or possibly selling that ownership at a higher value to maybe someone else. That's speculation, but that's how I see this situation.
Well, what's his side of the story? There's a reason why you only got a side of the story. Why do you think that is? No, you think there's this fucking gigantic other story? I mean, I've literally you know what's crazy too? Like after everything, I've told you all that Matt was in a tough spot. I've admitted that he's in a tough spot. You know, I agree. It was a very difficult spot to be in. You know, and I feel for the dude. It was not easy, and that's part of being the boss. I mean, if you're gonna be the CEO and you're gonna be the boss, you got to make tough decisions. You know what I mean? You really do. You know, I mean, because I'm a boss of my own company, and I got to make tough decisions sometimes too, man. Is it the same thing as I heard? No, but you got to make tough decisions. They'll be like, well, dude, Nick's still talking about it. Nate isn't. Well, I mean, yeah. One, it was kind of a big fucking deal. Are people understanding that? It's millions of dollars. You guys get that, right?
Nick also later talks about his lost opportunity when it comes time for taking other offers. He did not take those offers for 2 entire years, which included a lot of money on the table he left out there and promise of being a 100 Thieves owner. He also further talks about, all the people who call him out for not getting it in writing. He talks about trust and, of course, trying to trust a friend at the time.
I mean, there's a couple painful ones. Like, I could have been making $4 or $5 grand a month from 2 or 3 different orgs that I had offers from that I turned down to be a co-owner of 100 Thieves for the first 2 years. And they say, they'll be like, yeah, but you were just streaming anyways. Right. But I wasn't making a dime from 100 Thieves. So 2 years of stream, and I mean, I didn't want to. Like, I don't want to throw that at 100 Thieves or at Matt. We had a plan, and it takes a long time to get there. Nothing like what we talked about. You think you and Matt will ever be cool again? Probably not. And I mean, one of the toughest parts about all this, I think the hardest part after I put my ego aside is what it's done to a lot of our friends. Not done, but like it just made it even if they don't say anything, like with a lot of our friends, it made it kind of uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And then like a lot of our fans, our friends and our fans, we had a lot of people that were fans and friends of both of us. So when that happened, it makes everything really awkward. And then motherfuckers were telling me like, oh, well, you're a dumbass for not getting in writing. I mean, all right, true, partly true, but you got a great friend, you move across the country, you're doing something together. You got to have some kind of trust or else you can't do any of that, right? So, yeah, I get it. But I mean, what's trust, right?
And I think in all of this, guys, the real dagger is the Nickmercs short story about Nadeshot and including Nickmercs' dad as well, what Nadeshot had told his dad.
It wasn't the amount specifically. It was more so just the promise. And I remember specifically, my dad brings it up a lot whenever we talk about it. My dad will say he remembers the night. My dad flew out there to go to that E3 Fortnite Pro-Am, and we all got in an Uber Black, and we were going down to a party to meet up with Jordan Fisher and CDN and all these guys. And he looked at my dad. He was like, don't worry, I'm going to take care of your son. You know that, right? My dad was like, I know. It's cool, man. It's cool. I'm going to take care of him. I remember watching it like, what the fuck?
And Nickmercs also goes on, guys, a very lengthy clip. I will link where I got it down below because I don't know where the VOD exactly was. I think Nickmercs makes another great point when it comes time for Nadeshot not sharing his side. It makes it very tough. But I will, attest very shortly to 100 Thieves and Nadeshot on not responding. Unfortunately so in times like this when it comes time for drama and controversy in the esports scene. I've covered a lot of it. I'm sure if you guys are viewers of the channel, you know about that. And more often than not, when it comes time for responding or not, in my own personal opinion, esports is such in an infancy right now. We're still growing. We're still in a very early on period. A lot of the stories I cover, the organizations or the players never respond to. And I would say it's probably not out of good faith. In most cases, I don't know about all the cases out there. I would say it's because we're in such a weird time right now that if you do respond, you attract only more attention and more eyes to the fact. And because esports is still developing, there aren't that many news channels, especially when it comes to video format on YouTube, to call you out for not responding. Oftentimes, it is better to say nothing than to respond at all because you only garner more attraction and attention to it. And so Nadeshot 100 Thieves made the pure 100% smart choice in not responding at all. But to the flip side of the coin, it makes room for Nick can say whatever he wants. And we can only speculate because he's telling his side of the story and there's no other side to bounce it off of. And so I do take Nick's word to heart, and especially when he gives us further information like this and makes the situation all the more sticky. Other clips I did not play for all of you guys, he talks about how it made it very awkward for all of their fans and viewers, fans of 100 Thieves and now Nickmercs belonging to FaZe Clan, fans of Nadeshot and Nickmercs. You know, where do we meet in the middle right now? I'm certainly a fan of both, as I'm sure you guys are aware. This situation just continues to really, really rattle my mind on where I stand. I certainly take what Nick said here very, very seriously. So until next time, last time we talked about this, guys, Nickmercs had called Nadeshot a turkey dick. That was definitely more comedic than this stuff, as I do take it very, very seriously. So what do you guys think? Until next time, you know what to do. I hope you're already doing it. Drink your water, drink your coffee, stay hydrated. I'll see you guys back here sometime soon. Thanks for watching, by the way. You're dope.